What is going on, guys? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're going to be doing something that is not necessarily the most fun thing to do in the garden, but it is something that will have to happen at some point if you're using raised beds, and that is replacing your raised beds. Now, a lot of you ask, what style of raised beds do we use? What type of wood do we use? And how to replace them when the wood that we use ends up rotting. So to answer that first question, we use just regular dimensional yellow pine, white pine, whatever they have at the hardware store. It is untreated, it is not cedar, it is not metal, it is just regular old wood. And so the wood that we use is very cheap. I love that because a lot of people find that the barrier to entry into a garden or like a raised bed garden like this is the cost of one. A lot of people say, well, I can't afford to put in a raised bed like this because the cost of lumber is, whatever, for a raised bed like this might be $30, $40. And the soil on top of that, if they're bringing in soil, is another expense on top of that. And so the cost of a raised bed is typically the biggest deterrent from putting in a garden. And I really just tend to say, look, all I need to do is have 4 little walls that hold up some soil, and that's fine. I don't really care. I don't really care what they're made of. I want the most bang for my buck. And what I find is that if you go with something like cedar, you're spending a lot of money for a marginally greater return of time. If you use treated lumber, you're spending marginally more money for a marginal amount of time. And then you have untreated wood, which is just regular dimensional. We use 2x10s or 2x12s. That's roughly 2 inches thick by 12 inches tall, and then they are 4 feet wide by 12 feet long. So they're 48 square feet total each bed. And I find that I'm going to get, this is our 7th year with these raised beds, 7 years, and they're just starting to get to the point where I'm having to replace them. With treated wood, I would have to be, maybe 10, 12 years. So you're getting a couple years more for like double the cost. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, we do need to replace these beds. And when that time comes, a lot of you ask, what do I do? And the answer is, well, do what you got to do. But I'll show you what we're going to do. And you don't have to overcomplicate this, especially if you did not dig your beds deep into the soil. If they're just sitting on top of the soil, it gets even easier. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so clearly these beds have seen better days. And I mean, I can say that they've definitely served their purpose though. I mean, the amount of food that these have grown has been far above and beyond the cost of the raised beds. I can say per raised bed, on average, I think I've seen about a return of about 3 times, maybe 4 times my money. So if a bed cost me, say, $40, it's probably returned 4x that. So, I think these have definitely served their purpose for how much they cost me. Now, they have definitely, like I said, seen better days. I mean, this one literally just, it just lifts right off. And they're so punky that you can basically just peel the wood away. There's nothing really left of these beds here. The ants have definitely taken their toll. They definitely have worked their way into these beds, as well as the soil. The soil level has definitely dropped over time. And so because these are perennial beds, I probably will mulch with a little bit of soil on top, just a top dress of like compost, and then put like a finished mulch on top just to kind of seal the soil in. But we only have, from what we started with, which was about 10 inches of soil, we're left with maybe like 4 inches. So it's dropped a lot over time, but you will find that to be true no matter what you do. Your soil will kind of drop over time. So the soil level has dropped, and that really allows us to kind of just kick these beds free. And now, if you have taller raised beds, this is why I always say this, and I always get a lot of flack for it, but I always say, do not go with a raised bed that is like 24 inches tall. Don't double stack your beds. Don't do like a 2x12 on top of a 2x12. So like 24 inches of soil, because ultimately what's going to happen is when those beds deteriorate, you're going to have a giant wall of soil that you're going to have to deal with. Now, it's not impossible, as I'll show you, but it's significantly harder, And there's a marginal benefit to having 24 inches of soil. Very few plants need 24 inches of soil. So because these beds have deteriorated over time to the point where there's only about 4 inches of soil, it allows me to literally come in here. I can just kick these beds apart, and then putting in the new bed is going to be a cakewalk. All right, so now that we've taken away the old raised beds that have just kind of rotted away, it leaves us with the border. Now, if the border itself has kind of sloughed down and you don't find a really good fit with your new raised bed, which is what we're going to talk about next, what you can do is you can take a shovel and just kind of excavate the perimeter, mound up the soil inside of what will be the raised bed, so that you kind of make your raised bed almost, make it narrower and make it shorter, right? Make it thinner on the sides and make it shorter on the ends by bringing in the soil that has kind of sloughed off over time back into the raised bed. And that way it's going to basically make a good seamless fit with the new raised bed that you're just going to put right over top. All right, so this is the raised bed that we built that we're simply going to put on top. Now, you'll notice that this bed is a little bit taller than our other bed. That's because our other beds were made with 2x10s. This was a 2x12. So it's about 2 inches taller, which is totally fine. It'll just hold more soil when that time comes. But also, you'll notice that this bed is already constructed, and that's what you should be doing. One of the biggest mistakes I see gardeners making is trying to build the raised bed where they want to put it, right? Like build it basically in your garden right where your old raised bed was. That's not really the best way to do it, because it's kind of going to be like fitting a square peg into a round hole. There'll definitely be instances where you want to push one side in and there's soil where it's just way easier, way less finagling to just build it somewhere else and move it. And that's exactly what we did. And so this bed also has been rubbed down with boiled linseed oil. Now that's something that you really should be doing. It's a way that you can extend the life of your raised beds by another probably 2 or 3 years even, by just rubbing them down with some boiled linseed oil. We just got it from our local hardware store, and we took a rag and just wiped down the inside and the outside with it. It's a natural kind of sealant, and it will, people use it for things like woodworking projects, cutting boards and whatnot. And so it's really, really great to seal your raised beds. Now, you can also do what's called burnishing, and that's where you basically take a torch. I am not going to be doing that in my raised beds just because, well, it just kind of changes the color a lot, and I don't really like the look of the color, but it will give you a good amount of life on your raised beds. And that's where you just burn the grain of the wood. And what it does is it actually prevents water from penetrating in. They've been using it to do things like build houses and boats and whatnot for a long, long time. Even fences have been burnished. And so, yeah, that's another way you can kind of condition the wood to prevent it from rotting faster. But we chose to go with the boiled linseed oil. And now all we're going to do is we're going to take this raised bed and we're going to set it literally right on top of where the other one was. All right, so now all I'm doing is I'm just taking some of the soil from the outside that's kind of sloughed off over the years, and I'm just kind of piling that into the center of the raised bed. Now there will be a little bit of wood particles here and there from the rot, but that's fine because that's basically fully broken down, so I'm not too worried about it. And that is one of the nice things about using something like an untreated wood, is when it breaks down in the soil, it just becomes compost. So I'm just coming through here, and I'm just basically taking that old boundary, and I'm just kind of giving it a fresh up here. But I'm moving all of that original soil that was once in the raised bed but sloughed out of it. I'm just putting that right back inside. All right, so that was quite a lot more excavating than I was expecting, but there was so much wood, believe it or not, that, I mean, it's so punky that it's basically a sponge, but there was so much of it that was buried deep down. I guess over time, I guess the beds had kind of sunk down a little bit because I put them originally on the soil surface, but with all the mulch that we put down, it does make sense. We put down probably about 6 inches of mulch, so that'll bury them a little bit. And then naturally the weight of them will sink a little bit as well. But nevertheless, the stuff that was buried kind of was kind of preserved. So I dug a lot of it out, exposed the original dimensions of the raised bed, and now all I have to do is literally just take this bed and essentially get it in place. All right, so now that we have the bed totally excavated here, all we have to do is just now, because I didn't realize when we built these beds, made this one 10 feet long, because at the time when we did our raised bed build, they were all sold out of 12-foot pieces. So yeah, so that's why this one's 10 feet. I forgot all about that. But simple modification, no problem at all. Now all we're gonna do is just take it and just kind of step it down in place here, because we have that original, ooh, man, I should take up gymnastics. There you go. Okay, so all we're gonna do is just kind of step that down, get it to fit where we want it to go. And now it's as simple as taking all the soil that we mounted up and just kind of pushing it back. So that is how you replace a raised bed, very simply. Now, obviously, you know, this is something that we're going to be doing to all of these raised beds at some point. This was just the worst of them. So the other ones probably have a full season out of them, but you know, left in them. This one needs to be replaced right now. But at some point, you're going to be doing this as well. So hopefully this helped you kind of just know what to do, how to extend the life of them. And we will be going back here and putting the brackets back on, those brackets that you saw on the corners and stuff. That really helps hold them in place, gives them even that much more life out of them. So, because that's usually where they fail, is in the joints. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you all learned something new. I'm gonna go inside and get some water. All right, take care guys. Grow big or go home. Bye.